doing a good enough job at clipping the apex, but also maintaining minimum speed. So maybe I think if you have some coaching on there, that will be helpful.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. Okay,
Yeah.
so
So let me.
this next, yeah, I'll let you just drive a couple naturally before I start
Okay.
talking.
Yeah. I went way too wide on this one.
It's
Carried way too
actually
much speed.
it's pretty good being out on the track behind you, because when we
Okay.
review the lap, you'll be able to see the relative position of our cars without me having to go to different replay laps. You'll be able to see with our cars next to each other if we're doing any different lines to each other.
So I'll try to focus right now. So. Yeah, sorry, I'm not talking because I'm literally trying to focus right in
It's
front of
okay,
me.
man. No, I want you to do that.
I'm trying to remember what you said. Hard on the brake at first when you have the maximum downforce, and then ease off. But
Yeah.
it's very fucking hard. Let me tell you that right now. Because I don't want to lock up the brakes, and I want to get as much braking as possible while maintaining minimum speed. Anyway, so yeah. Let me try one more time. I went way too wide on this. More? I'll go for one more. Ah, shit. Yeah, fuck that one up real good. Again, yeah, so Beckett's is really poor for me, clearly. So that's one thing that I need to really understand.
Yep.
I was up one on fourth gear when I could have. I think I should have been on third. Oh yeah, here we go. Ah, man, this is a.
So do you want to do one more?
I think that's it.
Yeah? You happy with that?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Cool.
I think it's a fair represent. There are a few things I could have done slightly better, but I think that's a fair lap of where I'm at right now.
Okay, well, I think that's good, because I'm pretty sure if we look at your session from last time, you were, I think you've gone significantly faster than you were doing, even at the end of the last session. So that's good. If I just have a look, so here, get faster 5 days ago. So your best lap, certainly your best clean lap, was a 1:59 on here. Yeah, that was.
Oh, sorry.
Although I think there was another session which didn't upload, so maybe you did go a little quicker after that. But anyway, I think that's a good start, because you are, just in terms of lap time, 3 seconds plus quicker than we were doing last time out. Maybe not. Maybe you went slightly quicker in the last run. So I'm just going to bring up that data, but before we actually look at it, I'm just going to go over your lap, just from the video. So let's find.
Let me turn on full screen real quick, because I think I see you better when I'm. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, let's just find that session. Where is it? Why can't I see it? I can't see any data from you on here. Have you got
Oh
Garage
my
61 running?
God. Yeah, I have not, Brad. And
That's okay.
and I think at this point I need to buy a T-shirt from your website that says "Run fucking driver
And
61."
I just need to remind you to do it because it's always on in the background on mine. I just assume it's running, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. Just get it running now. But we can just purely go on video for that one
Yep,
anyway.
yep. Let me go up and it should like let me see. Yeah, it's up. Telemetry engine is running, so
Cool.
I'll let it
Okay.
run because last time I tried to do this, I crashed it for some reason.
Yeah.
But I'll
No
let
problem.
you.
So you can
Yeah,
see
I'll
my
let.
screen, right?
Yeah, perfect. I'm
Okay.
back on your screen.
Right. Awesome. So let's just watch this lap. I was watching it from behind, but let's just watch it on board, and I'll try and make some comments. So first of all, turn one, I think your line is very good. The only thing I'd say is we're still leaving a little bit of space to the left, but the turning point in the line looks great. I think we can probably just... It doesn't sound like we stay full throttle. Do you stay full throttle into there?
Nope, absolutely
Okay,
not.
so it should be easily full throttle. Like, it should be full
Okay.
throttle in the rain. So...
Wow.
So that's one thing we can do. Do everything the same. Just keep your foot down. It should just stick. I've got so much grip through there. I can do the wrong line full throttle and it still just sticks.
Oh, okay.
So, so
So
if you
why?
do, Go on.
I think is it the same also in the after the all start finish line right before the maggots and backets? Is it
no,
also full throttle there?
that one is that
Okay.
one needs a lift. Not it
Okay,
doesn't have to
so
be
I
a
think
big lift, but it needs a lift.
okay. So I think maybe what's happening is my brain is getting a little bit confused because they look
Yeah.
so similar to me.
Yeah, and it's at the
Okay.
end of a pit straight. Yeah, people do get confused through there in
Okay,
real
so
life
the
as well.
first one is full throttle. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind.
So that will be some easy lap time. Yeah, because look how much space you have left. Like, look at all this room you have over here.
Yep.
Because,
Yep.
you know, and so if you were full throttle, you could just carry loads more speed. Let me just go down a bit so you can see. Let's just look back from here. Like, you just
Oh,
have,
yeah, yeah.
so much space. So much space. So therefore, lots and lots. I'm not saying you
You
want to
see-
necessarily be all the way up against the line here.
I
But
think, yeah.
definitely closer. Definitely closer.
I'm also I can tell you right there, Brad. I'm also fucking trying to open up the next corner. Like
Yeah.
that's what I think that's what my brain is doing.
Which you don't need to do. In
Yeah.
fact, whilst we're at the beginning of this one, whilst we're at the beginning of the lap, let me just show you just the beginning of the lap I did just before we started, just so you can see how little I open up that corner, like how I just don't. That was full throttle, and no
And
need to
way
open it up
more-
at all.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Good to know.
So you can
Yeah,
just
I
see
think that- yeah.
completely green all the way through, and you just don't need to open it up at all. Like, it has so much grip at that speed. So
Yeah,
right, let's
yeah.
get back to you.
Perfect,
Anyway,
perfect.
that will be a nice easy lap time gain for you. So that's
Yeah,
good.
I think so.
Okay, so then let's get to the next corner. So before we even get here, I know what's about to happen. You're going to turn in very early, like very, very early. Normally the tight.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Normally you say the tighter the corner, the later you need to turn in, and you turn into this one as if it is like a 10-degree corner. Here, we're already halfway across the track, and if we have a look at where I'm positioned relative, you can see this is what
Yeah,
I
it's
saw
so
you
good.
do. So this is my
At the
turning
line.
point here. Yeah.
At
So
the line.
in fact, I only make my main turn past the line. If we look at when the steering wheel really turns, like now is the big turn. And
When do you start braking?
Let's have a look.
Oh, okay.
Here. So I don't know
I
where that
see,
is
cool.
relative to you, but I'm braking in a straight line towards that 50-meter board. So although I'm not going straight relative to the shape of the track, my wheels are straight. You know, I'm pointing the car straight to the left side of the track and braking in a straight line. So you don't have to be parallel to the side. You see how like you're braking straight along the white line. You can see you actually try and get to the white line and try. Oh, actually, no. Having said that, the moment you get to the white line, you turn away from it and turn in, which is interesting. So your straight line braking is here to here by the looks of it, which is
Wait,
interesting.
how come you can't see? Oh, you can't see my
No, I can't
telemetry
see
on
your
the-
inputs.
Okay,
No, not on the replay
okay,
screen. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
interesting.
So,
Okay,
oh,
so
I've gone
this
to
is
the wrong lap. Sorry, I just went to the wrong lap. There we go. Now we're on the correct lap. Yeah, so that's going to help you a lot into here because that corner is just so much tighter for you on the line
Yeah.
you're doing. If you arrive at the corner here, you can just see how much extra steering angle you have to apply to get round there. Whereas I'm all the way out here, and I can just get away with less steering in the same corner. So in fact, we can have a look at. Let's see what the maximum is. So that's my maximum, but you see how I can immediately start unwinding it from like here. Let's just see what yours is. I bet if we looked at like the average steering angle through the whole corner, you'd have a higher number. I'm just interested to see. Right now it's not too much. And now you have to go more and more and more. Basically, you're having to hold a higher amount of steering angle for a longer amount of time. And those things are directly connected to how fast you can be traveling. Like, it's almost like a straight calculation. The less steering angle you have, the more forward speed you can be carrying as an average. So, anyway, there we go. So that also... Well, actually, we both get across to the right. We both get across to the right quite easily. So, you're...
Yeah, but because I think before we go to the next section, like, I just want to make sure I understand a few things here.
Yeah.
So I think number one, I'm still very worried about braking, about how I'm using my brake pedal.
Okay.
Because what I'm seeing right now is you're about to start stepping on the brake very gently, and you're scrubbing that speed. You're not even at the 50%. You're not even at the 50% level, and you're already, right now you still have it, and it's helping you corner until you have the right line. So the one thing that I'm getting out of this section, and because it's a slow speed section, those two corners, I mean, they are slower. So I feel like I'm really struggling a lot to understand how much of the braking I need to apply and how much of the steering. And so the 50% here starts at the 100-meter line.
And I'm just very aware that a large proportion of my deceleration is going to come from simply turning the wheel into this corner. The car is going to slow down quite a lot. I've got big sticky front tyres. It's a lot of steering angle. So it's almost like a brake in it. Just turning the wheel is like applying 20% brakes or something like that.
Yeah,
so
you're scrubbing the front.
So that's why I'm not having to brake particularly hard here. And obviously then being able to keep a little bit of brake on with the initial turn really helps the rotation and helps the early power, because you can see I'm actually back on the power like now, like before we even get to the corner.
Crazy.
Because I can see, I can see where I'm going. I can see through the corner and the car is going where I want it to go. So what I wouldn't be doing is getting on that power there if I sensed the front was scrubbing. So my driving brain is waiting for permission to accelerate when it knows the front is going exactly where I tell it to. When it knows I'm going to make the apex, that's a box ticked. And is it going to be understeering when I hit the apex? If the answer is no, that's a second box ticked. And that basically, those two things are like unlock the throttle application. They give me permission to get on the throttle. So
that's crazy. And that happens at like fucking... Yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah.
And actually, even doing that, I didn't need to go very deep. Because of the angle, because we've come from here instead of here, because of that angle where you can see your car wants to go straight on over here somewhere, so you're going to have to do extra work to get it rotated. I'm lucky in that I can see like from this point. It's almost like a straight exit for me over there, exactly where I want it to go. So everything's just easier, and it's all easier purely because I've stayed left longer and turned in quite a lot later with a little bit of brake. I've just got so much room. Like, you've got all this space to use, so I'm just using it basically. Okay, that's turn 1. I've spent a lot of time on turn 1. So turn 3 actually, but the first proper corner. So let's just see what happens to you through here. Okay, I actually think you're nearly there with this. You're nearly there. You went slightly too slow on the entry, and it actually hit the apex too well. You got there too early because you went in a teeny bit too slow. See here, the car actually turns better than you expect it. So if we go in slow-mo, you turn in, and then you have to almost turn away. You're turning in, and you're like, oh shit, the car actually turned. And now you're having to reduce the lock. So that's purely like an entry speed / timing issue. You're so nearly there. We just actually want to go in a fraction quicker, maybe just slightly faster, so it doesn't turn as well as that. It's almost like the car's doing its job too well at that point. The alternative is you go in at exactly the same speed and turn slightly later, or slightly less. You know, do like slow early turn and then just increase the lock when you know you could. You need it. I think because you did so, a little bit like a two-faced corner. Because you did so much now. You can see, like, now it's like, oh shit, we've actually done too much of the rotation now, and your only choice is to hit the sausage curb or turn away from the corner.
Exactly.
So if you do that exact thing but just delay it slightly, then you'll get that rotation at the right point in the corner, which is just slightly deeper. And if it's difficult to show you it on this view for me because I'm just following your car. I wonder whether I do it. I almost have to do a similar thing to you here, actually, which is interesting. But now I've gone to my maximum, and you see it hits the inside at a slightly different point. It's just a small offset. But it's enough to make it easier on the exit. Okay, I think you can fix that. I think that's all right. That's not too bad. This was good. Short line. Yeah, no dramas there. That's actually really good. Okay, into Brooklands, this next corner. I noticed you were darting in a little bit too early. So in fact, you're going to see this better from my view. So I'll show you it from my view. I'll show you it in full speed. You see that sudden steer you did across? You almost swerved to the inside, bam, like that. And we just don't need to do that. We can do it a lot more.
I did not realize he was going to turn so well, actually. I think I'm still not used to how much. Yeah, anyway.
It reacts like a switch when you've got that much downforce. Like the faster you're going, the more reactive and responsive the steering will be.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. So you can just see like, whoa, boom, you're now already at the inside. And I'm just loading up my suspension a little bit more gradually. I'm still doing quite an early turn. You know, I've still got to the inside here quite a long way before the actual apex, which is there. But the difference is my arc is just slightly more gradual. I'm asking less of the tyres. Whereas because you're already tight now, you're going to have a bit more understeer at this point.
And can I see your braking trace?
Yeah, probably not good on this lap because I braked really early. Let's just show you on this one.
Okay.
Right, let's have a look and let's go on board. I'll do it in slow-mo as well.
At the 50-meter board, okay, still very, very, okay, cool, very gentle on the brake, though. Very gentle on the brake. Because the lift is already a brake.
And now it's a little bit less, and a little bit less, and all the way off. So that's
you're really, really negotiating the corner with the brake. You're not, it's not binary at all. And it's weird because I think that's the problem that I'm struggling with. And that's so just I'm sorry, I don't want to talk too much.
No, it's fine.
That, like, I actually, it's on Brooklands here that for the first time I actually started braking and turning, and it opened up the line so much.
Yeah, it's great. Brooklands is a very, very good corner in real life as well for teaching people trail braking because it's so long and it comes at the end of a very fast straight, obviously. So you do need to do quite a lot of braking. But if you screw it up, you've also got quite a lot of width. You know, you just run wide. It's not a problem. We try again. But yeah, the best technique, the quickest technique is exactly what we were just talking about there, where you stay on the brakes a long time. You know, we're basically all the way in here at this point. We've come from a long way. We've come from like a really, really long way back, and we've only just finished braking here. It's definitely not brake only on the straights, but it's just the amount of braking reduces like the further into the corner you get.
And that's actually one of the corners where you don't want to get most of your deceleration initially, even though that's where you have the most braking budget, because it's so long and because it's so high speed. So I think that's like, but where I need to use it, all of it is definitely Um, I feel like the last sector, I feel like I need to do a better job at. Okay, and then
So
so you told me
the
right
only thing I
here.
want to say, right, before we move on to the next corner is, I know you moved across early, but this is all completely fine. You know, you actually managed to do the rest of this fine. The way this starts to go wrong is I feel like we're on the gas a little bit too hard here, and it runs a little bit wide. So you've ended up a
Yeah,
bit deep here, which is not ideal. You can still rescue it from this point, but you're quite pressed up against the inside. So we want to just aim to end up kind of on this trajectory. Yeah, we just where we apexed. If I could pick your car up and just twist it slightly to the left, you know, just point it a little
yep,
bit further left at this point,
yep,
you wouldn't end up out here. You'd end up half a car width or a full car width further left, and that just make your life a
yep.
bit easier going into here.
Okay.
So go on, you were going to say something to me about this corner.
No, no, no. That I think
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
so this is the corner where I was telling you, use the first curb, go wide in the middle, and then use the curb again at the end. Even though it's like a
yeah, like a
constant
V.
radius all the way, we want to V it. But I think you were Ving it in quite an extreme way. So I'm just going to watch it
Okay.
through, and then we'll talk about it.
No, no,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
No, I totally. I actually, if you listen to me on the thing, I was like, ah, shit. Because no, I know that I did not decelerate enough. I think I was trying to do the V. I've done it several times before
Yeah.
that corner,
So
and
I'd say you. I
yeah,
think you tried to force the V too much on this one because if we go in slow mo, it looks like you deliberately go straight and then you turn. So I
yes,
don't really want you, although I want you to V the corner, I don't want you to think about Ving the corner. I just want you to go in, like take the corner like you're not going to V it. Just go in quick across this curb
yep,
and then naturally you'll run a bit
yep.
deep. What you do on
It's
this
it's
lap
yeah,
is you almost try to deliberately V it by going straight, but the car will go wide enough on its own if you've gone in quick enough. So
sweet.
if you have to drive the car wide, you're doing it wrong. If you just drive in quickly, the car will naturally go wide a little bit in the middle, not massively, only like one car width, and then that's where you know you can pivot and get back on. On this particular lap, you drive to the middle and then turn, like now. And obviously then you're out a bit too wide on the marbles. It's too tight, the corner. It's a bit nasty. I'll show you what it looks like from my view behind. So that's where I want to go. See, I'm Ving it, but just not remote. And then I back off to let you go back in front. You can see the relative difference in like the distance. So I'm going curb. The car naturally runs wide, and then and then back on the power again. If that makes sense. It's quite good having us both in the same shot here because you can see it really clearly. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
take the
yeah.
first right-hander as if you're not Ving it. Just take it fast, but be ready to touch the brakes because you're going to need to be braking from. I mean, you're going to see where I brake. You're going to need to be braking like now because you've gone in so fast, and even there, I still run wide, and then off the brakes once it pivots.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
just
yeah.
just don't try and force
Gotcha.
it. Basically, the only conscious thing you need to do on the way in is drive across that curb, but try and stay tight. As in, like, drive it as if you're intending to stay tight, and the car will naturally understeer a bit wide. So,
Yep, yep.
so that's that one. Let's go on to the next bit. I think you did cops really well. Let's look at this one.
Good luck remembering all this shit, Serge.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll try and remind you. Yeah, I think you're good
No,
through
no,
there.
no, it's all good. It's all good. It's hilarious how there is what? How long is this? Is it like a minute and a half? It's 1.5. It's a minute and 50 seconds,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it feels like a month worth of data.
Yeah. It's a big track. But what's great though is I've said this to you on other tracks we've been to. The things we're learning here, they're not just applicable to Silverstone. Like they are general things that we're applying to specific corners. And yeah, some of these corners are they're not unique, but they've got like Luffield we've just been talking about, that long right-hander. That's a pretty rare corner, but it's not. You are still going to run into similar corners on other tracks. So it's good to have these things in your data bank.
I'm 100% convinced that like, and again I don't know what I'm talking about, but like after driving it for like only 2 sessions, it's definitely one of the best tracks in the world. Like it's a
Okay, good.
100%
I'm
one
glad
of
you
the
agree.
best tracks in the world.
Definitely in a fast car like this with downforce, it's really good. In a
Oh
slow
yeah, yeah, for
car,
sure.
it's a bit too big. Just
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
onto cops. immediately we can see your relative position to mine. You're just giving yourself a harder corner by not widening it here, but you still make it through well. But
so that's interesting because I thought so in my mind I was trying to be on the white line, but not on the runoff. So
Right.
you're saying I do want the two wheels on it.
Yep, it's a completely flat curb. Just think of the black
Okay.
and white sections as extensions of the tarmac of the
Okay,
think of it as the
okay.
same surface, and you see
Okay.
the difference is you touched it here, but then by the time you got to your turning point, you'd come off of it, giving yourself less room, and then you
Okay.
turn in. Whereas you can see just how long I'm staying on. There's basically only one black square left before the 50 board when I come off it. Although looking at this line, we're now on very similar lines. Wow, look how loaded up your car is. If I just zoom in here, come on, let me. Oh, hang on. Why is it not bringing up the? Here we go. If I zoom in, look how like your car.
Wow.
You can see your suspension is like squished to the left, and you're just really loaded up. That's quite cool. Right, back
Actually,
to
I think if you look at the right tire, if you look at the right tire as it's cornering, if you pause it here, you zoom in on that right rear. Is it deflecting a little bit? Oh no, maybe not. Okay, it looked like it was a little bit deflecting.
Definitely though, your car is under massive stress through here. Yeah, a little bit of
Yeah,
rear
for sure.
slide, little bit. You don't quite hook up with the curb.
No, but if I go with using more of the track, like you said, I think I can hook it. I
Yeah,
think
for sure. If you use more here,
Yep.
more here, and more here, then you've just given yourself over a meter, maybe more, of space, which means you can go even quicker here. So, but anyway, definitely that's one of your better corners. So we don't need to dwell too long on that one. So let's move on to the next section, maggots and beckets. Here we go.
Oh yeah, maggots and beckets.
Oh, okay. Everything that went wrong was because we turned in too early to Beckett's. That's all. So up till now, this is good. This is all fine. This is all fine. Now we just turned in really early.
Yeah, way too early.
Yeah, we just
Okay.
turned, and this is similar to a little bit what happened to you at Brooklands, where you've got so much
Yep.
downforce, you don't expect the car to turn that well, and so you turn in like you're in a Formula Ford, and actually you're in a car with a massive front wing that's squashing your front tires into the track. So
Yeah.
it responds to you too well. That's all.
Yeah.
And that's where
Before
it goes
get
wrong.
ahead of myself, and then it just goes wrong. Yeah.
And so from my view, yeah, here we go. That's where I make my proper turn to try and hit this red block. And obviously you couldn't do that because, well, I mean, you did hit the red block, but you hit it from off the track, and so your angle wasn't quite as good.
Exactly. Okay,
and that's
so
the
yeah.
reason this goes a little bit wrong. So there's not really much to criticise there, other than you were just a little bit too early turning into Beckett's.
But can I see your beckets too, real quick?
Yep, I'll show you it on a proper lap because this wasn't a good one.
Okay, nice. And then this one. Ah, okay. So it's still, yeah, okay. So perfect.
So I think you need to get this one right in order to
Yeah.
get this one right. See how, although I'm not opening it out, like I'm not going left, I'm you see at this point here, I'm going straight pretty much. I'm not trying to go parallel with this line, but I'm just giving myself enough room so that when I rotate the car, I can hook up with this
Yeah.
curb at the right angle. If I'm a little bit further to the right here, you can still make it, but it's going to be a little bit harder to get it pivoted just here. So I've just got enough space to turn and reach the apex facing the right way, if that makes sense.
Yep. That makes sense. That makes a ton of sense. But it all starts with like getting Beckett's right, and then staying in
So
the
from
middle.
here, I'm going basically straight and then in. So I'm definitely not trying to go left, right. I'm kind of going left, straight, right, but with a slight bias to the left part, just for the room it gives you. And then obviously not being afraid to munch those curbs. You know, not being afraid to just tell the car to just drive up over those curbs. It just, again, gives you loads of room. I was having this exact same conversation with one of my real-life drivers through these same corners, and I told her on an in-lap, just try the red things. Like, drive on them now when it doesn't matter. Yeah. And she drove on them, and she was like, oh, I can't even feel it. And I was like, yes, you can't feel them, so use them. Like, you know, cut that bit, because you won't get track limits penalty for it. Okay, right, let's get back to you. Because you're right, it is like hours of data for one lap.
I mean, it's yeah. Anyway, like as a side note, it's incredible how many things you're getting wrong without seeing it. And when I say you, I mean me. I'm just saying, if when you're driving, you don't realize all these things that you're getting wrong until somebody explains to you, and then you start to understand. Like, yeah, so this right here.
Yeah, you can talk me through this one. What do you think happened here?
Well, clearly I turned in a little bit early.
Yeah.
So you said turn halfway through. Actually, if you can rewind it. Yeah. So turn halfway, essentially at the 50, because you're saying halfway in the black and white strip.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah. The 50. The 50 is a good point, Brody.
Okay. Yeah. So I think I went a little bit early.
Yeah. We went very early, actually.
Yeah, that's way too early. And also, but actually I think the second phase here, obviously was wrong. But then the second part of it, yeah, so I'm way far. Yeah, so that's the part where if it's all over in the blink of an eye. But
yeah.
And if I look at the from the outside, I'm definitely way far off the apex. But if I stay a little bit later corner, I can clip that apex better.
You see how easy it was for me. Yeah. Like, you can just see how effortlessly my car goes in, just because I'm coming from here. You can just you can actually, I mean, when it's paused, obviously it's easy to visualize, but you can just kind of see the arc that you're going to take from here to there. Like I say, it's easy in hindsight, but I'm waiting until I can, as best as possible, see around the corner a little bit. I know I can't see all the way through it, but I can definitely see more than if I'd started to turn in. Well, where do you turn in? Like at the beginning of you started about here, so it's just that little delay. Also, I know the shape of the corner like in detail here, so it's not quite a case of seeing through it, but it just gives you an easier angle. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you don't want to wait too long.
Yeah, I'm straight up thinking, holy shit, I'm going too fast, I'm not going to make it. That's 100% what's going through my brain. And so I dive too early, and I fuck up the whole...
I think, I've probably told you this before, but I think that happens a lot in road crashes. I think people on the road enter a corner, they realise, oh shit, I'm going a bit too quick for this corner, or quicker than I'm comfortable with, and they just start turning in early, and actually they make the crash more likely to happen, because they're giving themselves less braking time, and a harder angle when they actually get to that corner that they're going into too quickly. So anyway, side note. Right, so final complex.
Yeah, this is like a second and a half lost.
Okay, so a few things before we even look at data on my lap. So straight away, on a tight corner like this, it's even more important to give yourself as much room as possible. And look how much space you're leaving to the side of the track. Like, you're really making your life harder by not using this extra space. And if I just go back to where I am, let's have a look. So this probably isn't a good example because I'm like, whoa, shit, what's Serge going to do? But I definitely would want to be at least nibbling the edge of this black and white curb. It's not a typical one because it gets narrower at the end. So it's not like the one at Cops where it's it's the same width all the way into your turning point. But you can still definitely widen the track slightly. Right, and then the next section, yeah, you have a couple of goes at the steering again. You edge it in early, so we see you start to turn about here, and it looks like you get nearly there and you straighten up. And now we go again. So if you think about it, your proper turn only happens about now. So like you're only really doing your main steer at this point. where you're already kind of halfway in the middle of the track. Then you do the turn. And that basically completely restricts how much speed you can carry into here. Before I show you the comparison, we'll just show you the rest of yours, and because I'm going to go onto my flying lap to show you a difference. And here, I think you actually try and open up this one too much. So you can see the line I'm on behind you.
Yeah.
I'm on the line I would normally take. So I think because you, on the exit here, think you need to be about here, like kind of in the middle-ish, I think that is restricting. That's making you think that you need to open up this second to last corner because you're mentally trying to exit this corner in the middle somewhere. So your driving brain is going, well, if I want to exit in the middle, I don't want to go too wide. I have to give myself more room. So you delay your turn in. You give yourself an easier turn here, and then you kind of stick somewhere in the middle. Whereas what we want to do is go all the way out to the edge. So if I just go back here, we want to let the car run wide out to this red thing out here. So we want to be all the way here.
No, I actually, I think I'm done because the moment I can slingshot out of that one, it's done. It's if you go back, yeah, okay. So right here, you can go. So I think this right here, once I can figure out that line, then all the other ones flow in naturally. I think,
because
I have that line.
Subconsciously you think you need a different exit line. You're restricting what you're allowing yourself to do on the way in, and it makes it all harder. Like every stage of the corner is harder, and then obviously the line you're taking on the exit isn't the ideal one. So then the final corner is too tight as well. So I'm just going to show you one more time a good lap. In fact, if I go here,
I think at this point it's pretty much done. So you can.
So straight to the next curb, not opening it up at all, straight to the exit, and here.
Perfect.
So it all flows in, and just as a visual thing, the way I tell people is red, red, red. So red sausage curb, straight to the next red sausage curb, straight to the red sausage curb, straight to the red sausage curb. Like join those dots up. Just go red, 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 red like that, and then you got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, let's go again, Serge. Let's do it. You know what you're doing now.
All right. This is very good stuff, Brad. Thank you so much.
No, dude, don't thank me. This is what I'm here for. I love it. Right, I'm going to come with you again. Let's do it.
All right. So
obviously, sorry, go on.
If you wouldn't mind, just like a quick reminder, like don't open up, like or just like whatever you want, just as a little bit of a hint of reminder, especially like the corners where I think the corners where so actually let me rewind through this a little bit. So the first corner, I want to stay as wide as possible and brake gently but longer. That's
okay. So first hairpin, So not the first corner, but first tight corner,
Yeah, first the first two corners.
Full throttle.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, the only thing is just keep full throttle. That's number one. Then the third one. Stay as
wait
wide
for the
as
white
possible.
line. Wait for the white line painted across the track. Stay all the way at the left until that white line, and then turn in. But don't make that lull you into a sense of a false sense of security where you can go in quicker. Don't try and go in quicker. Just give yourself more room so you can exit better.
Room. Yeah, still brake gently at the 100-meter line. Start braking, but don't corner until you cross the white line.
Yeah.
Then apex. That's pretty straightforward. Second one is you said it was okay-ish, except for I took it in 2 bites.
You turn too sharply to begin with. Do a gentle initial turn and then kind of crank the lock on when you can see the car's going where you want it to go.
Gentle on the and then after that kink is no kink. Just get as much of the road as possible.
Yeah.
Come out wide. Keep going. Okay, now into Brooklands.
Yeah.
Now, Brooklands. First of all, you have your front is loaded. You can turn in fine, stay as late as the 50-meter board, and then gently turn.
Yeah, so
Um,
get to the inside, so get near the inside, but don't do it all at once. Don't kind of swerve across the track. Just do
yeah,
what you did, but over a longer period. It's like a
a
gradual
longer
move to
period
the
of time.
inside. Yeah,
Okay,
but
and
still
that's
definitely hit the second red square as your apex.
second red square as the
You
apex.
did it
Okay,
before. You did it before.
okay, and then the deal is try to. That's when you say if I could turn your car a little bit to the left to angle it a little bit more, so you wash out, but you don't wash out too much so as to fuck up your next corner.
Yeah, you want to
So
have
the idea is
one car width or so gap to
a
the
little bit
inside,
more
ready
towards
for
the middle,
Luffield. Yeah,
and then Luffield, V it, but don't V it artificially. Just
yes,
try to attack it like you would, and you're gonna naturally find yourself in the middle of the corner,
yeah,
and then gentle on the brake so you can dive on the second part of the V
yeah.
to
So
apex.
exactly. So attack it like you're not trying to V it, and then but remember you are actually going to V it. So be ready on the brakes. Don't let the fact it washes wide surprise you. You should be braking gently
Expect it.
before you actually run wide, because even braking early, you're still gonna run a bit wide if you've attacked it hard enough on the entry. So just barrel over the curb, just go, yeah, curb, boom, early turn, but be immediately gently on the brakes. As soon as you've
Yep.
done that curb bit, as soon as you're on the curb, be leaning on the brakes, and then your foot's already there, ready to give it more brakes if necessary, or less brakes if it's pivoted correctly.
Yep, yep. So that's just ready on the brakes for that second phase, and then after that, it's pretty straightforward. Minimize the trouble, go
Yeah,
down the straight, and then stay as wide as possible. You're
yeah,
using the black and white as much as possible. I've used the black and white as much as possible. This is not full throttle, but
yeah.
just a gentle dab of the brake. You should be able to get the.
You shouldn't
You
even
should be
need
able to get.
to touch the brake into cops, but the key is to turn in full throttle, but lift just after you've turned. So at the point you need the weight transfer, it happens. If that makes sense. So
I
go
see, I
into
see.
cops, turn and lift. So it's like rather than lift then turn, do turn lift in that order. That'll put the
Yeah,
weight on the front exactly when you need the weight on the front. But
yeah. Because
you
because
shouldn't
the
need a brake.
lifting is already braking on these cars. You don't need to
Yeah.
brake. You'll just do that. Okay, now we get into maggots. I think it's pretty straightforward. And then don't
Yeah.
forget to turn for the second part of it.
Yeah. So
Now,
same line as you did before, except into
yeah,
Beckett's. Don't just turn too early. You've got to judge the turn so you don't drive over the
yeah,
grass.
yeah. Just turn where you're supposed to. And when that happens, uh, okay, so I'm a little bit more in the middle of the road now for
Yeah.
Beckett's too.
And brake down a gear.
Brake down a gear.
So for Beckett's 1, it's brake down a gear. For Beckett's 2, it's brake down a gear. You're on the brakes for
Okay, so
about 3/4 of a second. Not it's like
okay.
brake. It's like brake down, off the brakes, brake down, off the brakes. It's a significant amount of braking, but it's not very hard. It's kind of gentle to medium.
Okay, so you can't really get on the gas until the exit of Beckett's.
When you know you can hit the curb at the apex of
Yeah.
Beckett's, then go for it.
Okay. Okay. And then after that, then it's pretty straightforward. We get down the hanger straight, stay as left as possible. You are not turning, you are turning too early. So for there, you want to be all the way at the 50-meter board.
Yeah.
When you get to the 50-meter board, you turn in, and there actually the apex comes pretty naturally.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
you
it's pretty
get on the
straightforward.
gas when you get to the apex, but not before. So try not to drive into Stowe that corner on the gas. There's quite a big waiting period from the turn in all the way up to the apex. You're either doing a little brake or you're coasting. You only pick up the gas mid corner. That's because it's not 90 degrees. It looks 90 degrees, but it's a little bit more than 90. So if you get on the gas
Okay.
too early, you run out of track.
Okay. And then we get into the final. We get into the after the pit entry. We get into here. So what I'm doing wrong on that one is definitely my line. I'm turning in too early again, and
And
that
then
comes from my.
and then trying to also open up the second part, which you don't need to do.
Yep.
It's like
Yep.
a
Don't open
straight
the.
line from apex 1 to apex 2.
Yeah. Red, red, red.
Yep, red,
So
red, red, red.
don't.
There's 4 red
Yeah.
sausage curbs. Link them all up. That's where your car should be at all of them.
Let's go, Brad.
Let's do it. Your visualization there, that lap of thinking about it, is really good. It's a really, really good technique. So, I should have told you to do it, but you just did it. So, well done. Just checking. Can you still hear me?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Cool. That was better. That was better. Okay, the car got a little bit sideways on cold tyres, but the line you did on the way in was great. It was really good. So,
Yeah. I'm not 100%. I'm still trying to like think about stuff. So I'm not locked in yet.
that's
Just so you
completely
know,
fine, man. That's fine.
I'm
I know you
still
need a
thinking.
couple of days to like go away, practice it, process. You always do that really well.
So I'll try. I'm still trying to like process through what we said
That's
as
fine,
I'm going
man.
through these corners.
I'm not expecting
So
perfection right now.
so the deal is right now I'm just thinking through this, and as soon as we have the first as soon as we have the first flying lap, I can start to try to do like it do it properly. I don't have enough cognitive budget, is what I'm trying to say, Brad.
That's absolutely fine. Don't worry about me. I'm just sat here observing.
Oh, shit.
You hit the sausage curb too well.
Okay, clearly, as I'm thinking through corners, yeah, I don't have enough cognitive load. So here we go. I'll try to do a better job, and I'll try right here.
Good job.
Ah, shit. Okay. Carried way too much speed on that one. Sorry about that. Okay, let's try that again. Okay. Try to do a better job next time, but let's pretend that did not happen. Let's try to do a better job. Ah, okay. It's hard because I have to reprogram myself.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be a little bit forced at first, and then it'll become natural when you've done it enough times.
Ah, shit. So, okay, so very wide on this one for some reason. I'm trying to relearn the lines, and it's a little bit difficult as I'm trying to change it, because obviously, like I said, yeah, like my brain doesn't want to do this. It thinks it's the wrong thing to do.
That was excellent through Beckett's. Like, really, really good line through the first part of Beckett's there.
Yeah. I'm just gonna listen, but I'm not gonna talk because I don't think
That's
I
fine.
can do it.
That's fine.
Let me know.
You don't need to respond. It's fine.
Shit. Anyway, better like next time. Okay, never mind.
So although that wasn't perfect, you're getting much, much better through Maggots and Beckett, so it's good to see. You almost second-guessed yourself in the final right-hander there. I think you maybe turned away from it, but it was really good up until then.
Yeah, all right. I'm still struggling a lot on these corners. So
Do you want to follow me for a couple of laps?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Just because I think you can keep the speed up. I think it's just little tweaks to some of the lines. I think maybe if you just copy a couple of my turn-in points and a couple of places where I'm going wider, it's going to help a lot.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, let me try.
But you're doing a good job, man. You're doing a really good job. It's just we're going to just perfect it. I want to just drag you along for a lap because I think there's like. I think you can go about a second quicker than what you've done so far without too much of a problem.
Yeah. So obviously I can't talk and drive, but I can
That's
look.
okay.
It's it's super useful for me to look at the.
Because you'll see if there's places where I kind of pull away on an entry because I'm doing it differently. You'll just see it in real time. You'll also feel where I'm slow. Like just then, you know, where you really caught me in the braking zone. That showed that you were trying to go in a bit too fast. So that'll that'll make it obvious. Right, so I'm full throttle through this first corner. It's quite a gentle turn, really. I don't have to turn aggressively. The car just goes easily. I'm all the way to the left. Down to second gear. I missed the apex slightly, but it wasn't too bad. Staying in second for this one. Really late apex. I'm just backing off to make sure you can see me. Oh, did you touch the brakes that time? It looked like you went in there flat out.
Yeah, I was totally looking at your line and I forgot to brake. So that's what happened.
It didn't look like there was
sorry
much
about that.
brakes. That's all right.
Yeah, okay, I'm back behind. I was like, man, I really wonder what he's doing on this, and then I forgot that I was in a car that needed to decelerate.
Let's do one more after this. Right, here we go. Let's do it. Right, don't forget to brake into this next corner. Right, I'm just gonna, although I need to go, I'm just gonna go now and do one lap as fast as I can, so that on the video, you've got something to watch back, if that makes sense. So you can see like an inverted commas like ideal lap if I try not to make too many mistakes. Yeah. You should be able to at least see my inputs on the screen and stuff. It might not be the best lap ever, but it'll be, you know, better than the ones that I've just been doing in front of you, so.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's a great baseline for me to try to like get as close to as possible.
Okay, there we go, man.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much, man.
No, dude,
I
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to rush off. I have to drive to a hotel now. It's like it's 8:15 at night, and I'm working
Oof.
tomorrow in
Yeah, yeah,
another
yeah.
city, and so I normally have a
Good
bit
luck.
more time. But
No, 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 no. Go
um,
for it. Right. Thanks.
so the main, just before I go though, we have the next session scheduled already, don't we? We already did a bit of
Yep.
scheduling last time, so that's cool.
Yep. I think we have the next two ones.
So I think it's the 20th, isn't it? The evening of the 20th, 7 p.m.
Uh.
Is that right?
Yep.
So
Yep. That's the same time as today's up on Thursday. Yeah, the 20th.
okay, so the only thing there is I'm doing the first day of an event for Peugeot tomorrow. I'll know what time we're likely to finish in the evenings tomorrow. So by the time I've done
Okay.
the day tomorrow, I'll have a better understanding. That day,
Okay.
the 20th, I'm doing this Peugeot event, but not at night, not in the evenings. I'm home that evening. I just want to make sure I don't end up calling you on the day and saying I'm not going to be back in time. So I'll have an accurate idea tomorrow. If we needed to go an hour later, would that be okay?
Yeah,
Or is
yeah,
this
yeah. Let me double check that. I think on the 20th. So the 20th. This is technically like my lunch break, but I think I am good
yeah,
on
okay.
the. Yep, yep, yep. It should work. Yeah. Either